the 88XJ, where those blocks of wood are, the air conditioning compressor was removed and taken and put over here. So I took the front of it off. Here's the coil and the clutch and everything in this stack. You can see the bearings inside there. So the front's been taken off. Here's the front. Put everything in bags, man, so it keeps the dust and the crud off of it. This thing had a front seal leak, and at the top here, the O-ring on the front here leaked. So that's all getting taken care of. The front main seal that goes around the crankshaft, I took it all out. Sorry, it's laying right here. And the new one's on the way. So when I get that part in, I'll slide this all together and it'll work good. The compressor's in really good shape. You check the oil that's already in it, and if it's burnt or dirty or smelly, you know you have a problem. Now the cool thing about the old R12 systems are mineral oil doesn't have a natural smell to it, only if it's been burnt or anything. Now the newer stuff, 134, the PAG oil, PAG oil, is really smelly. It smells like a chemical factory. Anyway, so that one just needs to be resealed, O-ring and a front main seal, and that's fine. These two I paid a lot of money for. I got them out of the junkyard. They both came off of Jeeps. One's off a 92, one's off a 95. And the reason I did that, these are both, it's hard to tell because you can't read it. I rolled it over sideways. These things say, I don't know, can you see that above the label? It says 709. 7's the number of pistons. 9, I think, was the cubic feet per minute of the freon flow. These are 709s. That's what the Dodge has in it, a big 709 that's seized up. So this should match exactly, mechanically anyway, what the Dodge has. The only difference is instead of having a 6 rib belt, the Dodge has 8. So I'll take the Dodge compressor out maybe as early as tomorrow and compare this front end, see if the coil's the same, stuff like that. I think it probably is, except for the width here. And the reason I say that, if you look behind here, you'll see there's room for a couple more ribs. They just kind of blanked it off. And that's what tells me that probably the 8 rib pulley will fit right on this. So this was in a 90, I forget, the 92 or 95, and it had PAG oil, 1, and it was green. So it either had, I don't remember if PAG oil comes clear or not. I think it does. I think green because somebody put some dye in it to see if it would leak. I took my sniffer and I sniffed the front end of these at the junkyard. One of them was under pressure. And now I don't remember which one. This was a couple weeks ago. One of them was under pressure. There's still freon in the system and it didn't leak around here. Now, yeah, these are pretty old. They probably need a new seal in them anyway. But and they turn over smoothly and all that stuff. So mine in the Dodge is really jacked up. So I think when I sniffed it around here on the Dodge, it leaked like a sieve. And who knows if the coil's any good, etc. So I got to pull that out tomorrow and maybe use this as a donor fully. I think it's probably fine the way it is. Now there is another difference. You see how wide this rear plate is? You see how thick that is? And you see how thick this one isn't? Okay, that's a difference. I don't really know why. All the valves are located, the reed valves are located in this like 3/16 thick plate. So I don't know why it's that way, but the Dodge is that way. So this one I kind of got for parts in case I needed something else out of it. It's a 709, but it's just shallow back here. And this is a 709 that physically and mechanically resembles the Dodge exactly. The other change that you have to be careful of when you're hunting for this stuff out of a junkyard is how the two inputs and outputs are located. Are they horizontal? Are they vertical? On the Dodge, they're vertical in their orientation. And this one, it's upside down right now, but this one is vertical as well. And so, one of the things I still have to check is these two fittings, the O-ring fittings that screw onto here, they come in two sizes. This pair, I don't know if it's the same as what's on the Dodge. I don't know the answer. So I have to find out. So there's some things I have to do. You can swap out this whole rear plate and put the Dodge one on there if it's not really toasted. Here is one gasket set for the Jeep and the other gasket set for the Dodge. It's the both rear gaskets and a front gasket, but no main seal. So I have plenty of parts, except for the main seals aren't here. So anyway, that's what's going on. Another thing I've noticed, Chrysler bought Jeep in '87. So the parts used in '87, '88 are still mostly AMC Jeep parts because they had to use up the stock. You see how this is plastic on the outside on both of these? This one, let's see if I can get this apart. There we go. This magnet, look at that. You can see the coils of wire, the potting material is nice and clear. There's no cracks in it. This is also bigger in diameter by quite a bit. If I line up the left edge, you see that? So I think Chrysler tried to go a little cheaper. This one's also encased in steel, inside and out. That's not. That's plastic, I believe. You know what? I might be wrong. The other thing is the bearing in here is bigger in diameter than the bearing on the front of these two guys. So let's see if this is... Oh shit, that's steel. Well, I guess I lied. Okay, well, good for me. I learned something new. They're both steel. They are smaller, and so is the bearing that carries the pulley. That huge bearing. See it right here? That bearing's smaller. That bearing is smaller than that bearing. So this one's 1988. These are 92, 95. So anyway, took the clip off, put the shims. I left them with each unit as they came off because there's shims that go on the end here to get the clutch spacing right. That's kind of a big deal. Clutch spacing. This is the wrong one, but just to show you, when they go together like this, there's a distance between this surface and that surface that needs to be kept pretty close. There is a range, but you want it to be able to engage and disengage easily when the magnet's turned on. So you got to make sure you don't screw around with your shims and lose them or whatever. So the shims are right there for this one. Here's the ring, which doesn't really make any difference. That clip is not significant. They're usually exactly the same. Anyway, so I will work on the Dodge in the next couple days and get the compressor out and disassemble it here. One of the things I've done, luckily because of a donation, you can see that stainless steel plate. Now I got something clean to work on, and there are several more. So I got to clean off the bench to put the plate down, but for right now I got a clean surface to work on. I scrubbed that stainless down real nice, and it's great to work on, especially when you're trying to keep something clean. So this is actually a crate that I got a bunch of junk in, but it makes a great work surface. You can sit next to it and just go to town. Anyway, so the other thing I got, because one or all of these systems, especially the Dodge, since it's seized up, and this is called a flush gun. This is for your air conditioning. You put compressed air in one side, you fill it halfway with solvent. Denatured alcohol is a good alternative, and you shove it through each hose and several parts of the system, and you blow it all out. and it cleans it up. So this one's fine. It didn't have any problems. No seized up compressor, no metal filings in it, so that one's fine. The Dodge is almost going to guarantee to have, sorry for the glare, almost guaranteed going to have metal through the whole system. And then my Jeep way back there has, it's an R12 system that somebody put 134 in. And it works okay, but it only puts out like 50-degree air. And this one here put out 36 to 38 degree air. So that's way better when you live out here in the desert. So having this thing flush, owning one is a huge asset because I got all these cars to work on. This one I got off of eBay. A guy sold a few of them. He said they were new, and they're not new. There's no way in God's green earth that they're new. It's still a high quality unit. It's not Chinese. In fact, I think it even says made in USA on it, but it was definitely used. So you have to put an adapter on it. This is a 1/4-inch flare fitting like your old R12 air conditioning. You have to put an adapter here. I had a short piece of hose that I bought that would adapt it from here to this guy. Here's your air hose. Hook your air hose here, took the short piece of hose and connect those two up, and you're golden. The problem is the hose leaked. It was brand new. So that got sent back to the eBay seller. It was a $17 piece of hose too. Anyway, so I've got some good equipment. You guys have seen, sorry I'm not going to show you the front of it. This is the freon pump. It's really old. And the testing I've done, it works fine. So when I do my Jeep, I'm going to pump this out into that, see the propane bottle there? That's getting converted over and cleaned out so it'll hold freon. It'll hold the 134, and I have another bottle that's already set up for R12 because we don't want to release this into the atmosphere. Plus it's better to save it and not, financially, this stuff's expensive, R12 especially. 134 is keeping the price down, but there's a new freon out starting January 1 of 2018. The new vehicles coming out have that freon. So at some point, 134 is going to start going up in price. Right now at Walmart around where we live, it's $5 a can, which is a good price. Last year was cheaper. All over town it was $5. Now it's not quite $5 everywhere. It's $5 at Walmart, $5 at O'Reilly's. Where you live is going to matter a lot. We're in Arizona, we're not in California, so our prices aren't horrible. But the R12 vehicles, I want them all running on R12. It works so much colder in an original R12 system, so much better. 134 works great if it's in an original 134 system. So anyway, alright. So here's what we're looking at. Workbench is crowded, and I'll start cleaning it off and putting these other stainless panels on there, and then I'll have a lot more work surface. That valve grinder just doesn't need to be out here anymore, but it weighs way more than I can carry. It's all cast iron. So I got to get somebody over here to help me put it away. And then the workbench for all the air conditioning will get going on here. Alright, well, that's enough rambling. Trying to show you detail because air conditioning compressors are between $200 and $300, and that's pretty silly. A lot of them can be fixed, not everyone, but a lot of them can be fixed. As long as it didn't spew metal internally to the whole system, it's not hard to fix them. You can buy, you can buy a seal for it. You can buy the coil, the bearing, the pulley, and the clutch. You can buy all that stuff. It's a little expensive. If the old stuff works, don't screw with it. Just reuse it. Sometimes you need a new coil, depending on how cracked it is. You can see a little bit of cracking in the material, the potting material. You can see a little bit on that one too. I haven't tested them with an ohm meter, but I'm pretty sure they still work, and I will test it to just double check. When you take and do the front seal, the one thing you don't want to do is use a paper towel, because it leaves lint behind and the seal will not be happy. So I got these old Chem wipes. Some of you guys in the industry know what they're for. They're lint free, and they'll wipe down all the surfaces I need to be nice and sterile clean. Don't forget, like I said in the beginning, put everything in plastic bags the second you take it apart, in the order that you took it apart. That's a big deal. These are kind of complicated. Alright, I'm trying to shut the hell up now. Take it easy. See you guys.